What's up, everybody? This is Get to Know. I just wanted to keep you guys updated on a case, or get you guys updated on a case that just happened here in my hometown. And I can honestly say I couldn't be more proud of our judicial system at this moment when it comes to this particular case. A local man convicted of sexually abusing eight-year-old girl for 2 years gets 35 years to life in prison. A 33-year-old man A 33-year-old local man convicted of sexually abusing an 8-year-old girl for 2 years was recently sentenced to serve at least the next 35 years in prison. 6th District Judge Javier Gabiola sentenced Timothy Viles of Pocatello to serve 35 years to life in prison during a hearing at the Bannock County Courthouse on November 23rd. Viles was initially charged with 2 counts of felony lewd conduct against a child in January 2020, following a 5-month Pocatello police investigation that was launched in August 2019. Bannock County prosecutors alleged in charging documents that Viles sexually abused an 8-year-old girl and a 10-year-old girl between January 2017 and February 2019. Both girls participated in separate forensic interviews at a local child advocacy center, during which they disclosed the abuse. Police interviewed Viles in September 2019, and he denied ever sexually abusing the 2 girls and offered to take a polygraph test to clear his name, said police, adding that Viles would later schedule and then cancel the test after consulting with an attorney. Viles was charged and arrested in January 2020. He posted a bond in February 2020 and was released from jail. Viles was convicted of 1 count of lewd conduct against the child following a 2-day trial in July and about 7 hours of jury deliberations. That 1 count is regarding the 8-year-old child. The trial involved prosecutors calling both girls to testify, as well as a relative of the girls and an employee of the local child advocacy center who spoke as an expert on child sexual abuse cases. The nurse who conducted sexual assault examinations on both girls was also called to testify. Viles would take the stand to testify on his own defense and also called upon 2 family members to testify. The trial lasted 2 days, and the jury returned on the 3rd day to deliberate. Both the underage victim and the victim's mother provided the court with impact statements during the sentencing hearing last week. The mother read her statement aloud in court, and Bannock County Senior Deputy Prosecutor Aaron Tognetti read the child's statement. "When Timothy Viles hurt me the way he did, I was robbed of my innocence," Tognetti said when reading the girl's statement. "I was no longer the little girl who loved fairies and played with dolls. I was a girl who saw the world the way it was, a world full of good and bad." Tognetti, while still reading the girl's statement, added, "After a while, I grew depressed. I was sent to a hospital in Utah for trying to kill myself. You see, I thought the only way out of my sorrow was death. So I took scissors and I cut my arms, and I was not badly hurt, for the scissors were dull." While reading her statement, the mother said the child suffers from anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder from the abuse. "She can't go into public without having panic and anxiety attacks so bad she curls up in the closet," the mother said. "She has not been able to go anywhere in the dark or sleep in a room without a nightlight. No words can explain what I have dealt with. My daughter doesn't like to go to school because she gets judged and bullied. She consistently blames herself. And as a mother, I've had to get counseling because of all the guilt." Viles Pocatello attorney Riley Fry told the court that during a polygraph administered as part of the sentencing process, that Viles admitted to sexually abusing the 2 girls, something he said is critical for adequately receiving treatment. Fry requested Gabiola impose a sentence of 15 years in prison with retained jurisdiction, also known as a rider. A prison sentence with retained jurisdiction would have allowed Viles to have his prison sentence suspended while he received intensive programming and education as an inmate of an Idaho Department of Corrections facility for a period of up to 1 year. Upon completion of the rider, the court is then tasked with determining whether to reinstate the underlying prison term or put the defendant on probation. I think that Mr. Viles can be rehabilitated in the community at some point, Fry said. My recommendation would be to consider placing him on a rider with an underlying sentence of 15 years. Viles also provided the court with a statement of his own. There is no apology that I can make that will make things right again, he said. I am very sorry for all the things the girls have had to go through. I wish I could take it all back. I feel like a piece of garbage and I need help. I screwed up badly. I pray one day I can be forgiven as I fight to forgive myself. I should have been a better father by far, and I just hope the court helps me to get better, to be better. I take full accountability. Tognetti then addressed the court, arguing that any sentence less than a significant period of incarceration would depreciate the seriousness of the crime, adding that the victims in this case are essentially saddled with a life sentence of trauma. The damage that he has done is something the girls are going to have to deal with forever, she said. The remorse today rings hollow. It rings hollow because everybody in this room had to watch these two little girls, take the stand and talk about the abuse. We had to take breaks when one victim could not get through her statements. We watched another victim just freeze, and Mr. Viles was able to watch these girls struggle and suffer on the stand and was still able to get up on the stand and perjure himself. He raped them and he sodomized them for a period of up to 2 years. Tognetti also mentioned a recent case she handled in which a local man was convicted of sexually abusing a child under similar but unrelated circumstances to the case involving Viles. In that case, the convicted sex offender was sentenced to serve 25 years to life in prison. Tognetti mentioned that Viles made note of the case and the sentence while speaking to his brother during a recorded phone call made from the Bannock County Jail while Viles was awaiting the sentencing hearing. While quoting Viles from the call he made to his brother from the Bannock County Jail, Tognetti said, "Yeah, the last guy here, he just got sentenced to 25 years to life. That freaks me out." Good. Tognetti quoted Viles from the phone call as a means of showing Gabiola that serious sentences are talked about among criminals and do help in deterring others from committing similar crimes. Criminals do talk, she said. This kind of information does spread among criminals, and that's why deterrence of others is a sentencing factor. The community is watching, and crimes such as these, where 2 lives are destroyed, cannot get a slap on the wrist. A rider is a slap on the wrist, and it would be an affront to these children and to this family and to the community. So, this is exactly what this channel is about. Get to know. It's about this right here. The last part of that, what I read, legitimately said, these harsh sentences and these not getting slaps on the hand and on the wrist sentences are a major deterrent for these crimes. So like I've said many times on my videos, We got to take this shit by the gut and crush it. We have to make all sentences for crimes against children in sexual manners, any abuse towards children, and crimes against children so drastic that people don't want to commit them anymore. Stand up for what's right. Let's get our heads together. Let's put our hearts together and follow where this needs to go. Let's make a change in our world before it's too late. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do or don't. I appreciate you watching. This is Get to Know, and remember, one child is one too many.